All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a big 12-game NBA slate. We're going to talk about every game. Going to give you my favorite plays, as always, for free. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. That's all I ask. And if you haven't yet joined the Discord, again, absolutely free. Great community. Sass crushed it in the NHL yesterday. Went a perfect, like 5 for 5, 6 for 6, something like that. So we'll also be posting some college basketball plays in there as well. Just a great community. So make sure you guys do that. All right, first game on the card, Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We see Detroit plus 10.5. Cavs have been reeling a little bit. Not looking fantastic. No Okoro, let's see. No Okoro, no Levert. So Max Truss would be in that starting rotation. No Dean Wade as well. I think this is an interesting matchup for Cleveland. I think they really need to get right. It's probably a good game to do that. Wouldn't want to touch 10.5. I would lean over 234.5 as my favorite play in this contest. I think Detroit keeps it fairly close until the fourth quarter. So not really a game I want to touch in terms of taking that 10.5 line. Soft lean towards Detroit plus 10.5, but they're prone to get blown out too. All right, Lakers and the Hornets. We see Lakers minus 6.5 against the Hornets. Hornets have been looking a little better, I'll be honest. I've been impressed with how good they have been looking lately, but they've got a decent amount of injuries there. I would go with the Lakers minus 6.5, although I don't love it whatsoever. Lean towards the under 222. All right, next game, Magic and the Heat. Jimmy Butler, what's Jimmy B going to do? He's back again from another suspension. So we'll have to see, what happens with that. That's kind of an interesting one there. In this one, let's see, for injuries, I didn't think I saw anything crazy. But let's see. Batadze's a game-time decision. Jalen Suggs is a game-time decision. So if they get Batadze and Suggs back, I like this spot. Franz Wagner's looked really good. Banchero's coming back in form. I think you're getting a great deal with Orlando -1, in my opinion. So I would lean towards that. Two very good defenses here. Under 207.5 would be a lean. Grizzlies and the Knicks. We see Knicks minus 3.5 against this Grizzlies team. Still a decent amount of injuries, but I mean, it's the same people they've been battling the whole season. Marcus Smart, Vince Williams, Jake LaRavia is a game-time decision, and then Santi Aldama is a game-time decision. So they have pretty much their normal starting lineup. That said, I just don't love the matchup for them. I would lean Knicks minus 3.5, more towards the over 241.5. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game in this contest. Pelicans and the Raptors. We see Pelicans getting a point here against the Raptors. Not many times you see the Raptors giving up a point. Doesn't really make sense to me with Zion in the lineup. I mean, DeJounte Murray's a game-time decision. Still no Brandon Ingram. I want to say might be done for the year. I can't remember. Might be out for the season. And then Herb Jones is out. So I don't really see an avenue where I want to take Toronto here. That said, at home, they have been significantly better. So I think this is a pretty tight line. Lean towards the Pelicans. I like the under 232.5 in this one. Rockets and the Celtics, game of the night? Maybe. We see Houston getting 6.5 on the road in Boston. I don't love this matchup for Boston. On paper, it doesn't really pan out too well. I don't think Tatum has a very good day. That said, it's Boston. I think this is going to end up being a three-point shooting contest. I do love Fred VanVleet over 2.5 three-pointers. That almost made the card. He has been on an absolute tear. He's over this in 5 of his last 5. I wouldn't even mind potentially laddering that if you wanted to do some type of three-point ladder. I would just lean towards the over 221.5 in this game. Soft lean towards Houston plus 6.5. I think Houston's just proven they're a pretty damn good ball club. So giving them 6.5 feels a little heavy in my opinion. All right, Kings and the Nets. We see blowout potential. Now, there is some injuries on Brooklyn side like there has been for past couple of weeks. No Cam Thomas, no Cam Johnson. Bogdanovich is out. Ben Simmons is game time decision. From what I understand, it's very 50-50 on whether he'll play. So I do like D'Angelo Russell over 6.5 assists. Ultimately, I think this is a blowout. Sabonis' rebound line's like 15.5. I almost took the over in that because he has absolutely torched Brooklyn. I'm just not sure because they played a decent amount of games lately. Could be getting a break. I did lock in Malik Monk over 5.5 assists at pretty good value last night. Yeah, I think Sacramento minus 10.5 is not a stretch here, even on the road. It's probably going to be a blowout, just not a game I want to touch. Probably going to be ugly. Speaking of ugly, Atlanta Hawks and the T-Wolves. No Trae Young, no Jalen Johnson. This is not good. I would lean Minnesota minus 9.5. Probably going to be a blowout. Soft lean towards that over 219.5. This is a ridiculously low line for a Hawks game, but ridiculous amount of injuries on the Atlanta side of the ball. Rasasher's a game time decision. Larry Nance came back, but he is now a game time decision. Hunter's a game time decision. So nothing I love. Minnesota, the side of the ball. DiVincenzo's still out with, I want to say it's like some type of toe injury or something, but there was no timetable for him to return. So that means Mike Conley's in the lineup. So that moves Ant to the shooting guard position. This could just be a crappy game, so don't want to touch that. Nuggets in the Bulls. This is going to be a high-scoring affair. We see Denver on the road in Chicago, minus 8.5. Minus 8.5. Kind of steep, to be honest, on the road. I would lean Chicago plus 8.5. Over-under of 246.5. I would lean towards the under. I think 246 might be a little high. You don't know what Joker you're going to get. Kind of wanted to fade his points. I think his points line's a little high. It's like 27.5, 28.5 on some books. Just feels a bit steep, in my opinion. Washington Wizards and the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks are 12-point favorites like every other team that plays them. I'd actually lean Dallas at home, minus 12. Soft lean. I mean, I don't play spreads this high, but I could see it hitting. I would lean towards the under 231.5. We've seen Dallas come out real cold, and Washington's been coming out real cold lately. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a low-scoring first quarter. Bucks and the Jazz, we see Milwaukee minus 9.5 going on the road in Utah, where Utah on the road or at home has been significantly better than they've been on the road. So I wouldn't want to trust them taking the 9.5. I would lean more towards the over 236.5. I do think Utah scores some points at home. Last game on the card is going to be the Clippers and the Suns. Clippers -1 with their full lineup back. Phoenix, this is going to be a good game. Might be game of the night, actually. I think this will probably be better than the Boston and the Houston game. In terms of injuries, nothing really caught my eye. Let's see. Ryan Dunn's going to be out, which he came out, I don't know, halfway, maybe in the third quarter of the last game. Nothing crazy on the injury side for the Clippers. Chris Dunn's out. That's probably the biggest one for them. Yeah, for me, it's Clippers -1. I think we're going to see some pretty good D. I would lean towards the under 222.5. Soft lean there, but I like the Clippers -1 in this spot. I do have some James Harden in here. So let's get to the best bets and get you guys on your way. All right, so first play on the card today is going to be LaMelo Ball, over 7.5 assists. Point guard's just been torching the Lakers for assists. Lakers are 28th in assists allowed to the point guard position. I think they're able to stop him to some degree. I think LaMelo is going to get his shots off. I think that is just, there could be 4 people on him. He's still going to find a way to pop probably 10 threes. But I do like his assists today. All right, Cade Cunningham, under 9.5 assists. We're going to fade Cade. 9.5 is a little high against the Cavs team. He's only over this in 2 of his last 10 games and 6 of his last 20. Now, when they're losing by 10 or more, it goes down even more. So I like fading him in this spot. John Morant, under 11.5 rebounds plus assists. I think he scores today. I think he's more in a scorer role. Points line's at 21.5. I do have a lean towards the over. But in terms of covering this 11.5 rebounds and assists, He's only over this in 2 of his last 10 games. So like I said, in my mind, he's more of a scorer tonight. He has a good matchup, score some points. Next play is going to be Amon Thompson over 9.5 rebounds against Boston. He's over this in 6 of his last 10. He's over this in 2 of 2 versus Boston. Boston does not give up a lot of rebounds to the center position, but they do give up a decent amount of rebounds to forwards and guards. Why? Because they pop more threes than any other team in the NBA. So I think it's a decent spot for him to get some boards. No Jabari Smith Jr. again, so he is still going to continue to see playing time. We'll have to see what that looks like when Smith Jr. comes back, though. Next play is going to be D'Angelo Russell over 6.5 assists. I mean, this is definitely blowout potential, but typically you're going to see him play until, halfway through the fourth quarter, maybe 3/4 of the way through. So I do think he has enough time to get these assists, especially if Ben Simmons is out. If Ben Simmons isn't out, then he is going to benefit from that blowout time. So I like this from both angles. Next play is going to be James Harden over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. He is over this in 7 of 7 games versus Phoenix. He has absolutely torched them in this line. He's over in 4 of his last 5, 8 of his last 10. I think Kawhi being back in the lineup significantly helps him, especially on the assist side. His rebound line's 4.5, assist line's 9.5. So I didn't want to take the 9.5 assist line. I think he has a decent chance to get 5 or 6 boards tonight. So that's why I went with the rebounds plus assist. And then last play on the card, Jacob Poeltl over 10.5 rebounds. Pelicans are dead last in rebounds to the center position. And it's at home where Poeltl does get more rebounds. Now, that said, he's only over this in 3 of his last 10 games. And my fear is Scotty Barnes has a pretty good matchup to get rebounds and assists. So that does worry me. But I think Poeltl's able to get some rebounds over Yves Missy. One of the plays I did like, if you can still find it, is Zion over 6.5 rebounds. So that's something I locked in last night, but wasn't available this morning. All right, so that's it for me, guys. Like I said, if you want college plays, I'll post some college basketball plays in the Discord. Link is down below. There are hockey plays in there. A lot of good stuff in there. Very positive community. We were sweating the football game last night. Unfortunately, we got the Super Bowl that really nobody wanted to see. KC and Philly. But hey, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys. And by the way, on the road for the next couple of days. So the videos, I'm not sure what time they'll be out. And they might be a little erratic. So bear with me this week while we're traveling. And I'll catch you in the next video.